Yeah, there's always something to be grateful for and something positive to think about. So be aware of your thoughts. If you start thinking negatively, things can go south very, very quickly. And I'm not inferring that people who live in the South have problems. That's just an idiomatic expression. We love people who live in Florida and Georgia.
I'm in the South. I forgive you. Oh, but that reminds me, we were in a focus group the other day, and the story was told. It was a remembrance of the two wolves. There was a Cherokee that was speaking to his grandson, and he said, "Inside my head is a dark and a light wolf, and they are fighting with each other." And the grandson said, "Oh, do tell, Granddad." He said, "Who will win?" And the Cherokee said to his son, "If I feed them both correctly, they will both win." But he said, "If I feed only the white wolf," and the white wolf represents love, peace, joy, and hope, where the dark wolf represents anger, sorrow, fear, and regret. He said, "If I only feed the white wolf, the dark wolf will always be hiding, waiting for that moment when my guard comes down. And he will attack the other wolf and he will tear him apart." He said, "And then I lose." And he said, "And if I starve the other wolf and I only feed the dark wolf," he said, "he will become irritable and he will change and he will no longer represent love, peace, joy, and hope." So he said, "If I feed them both equally, there are times when I need to rely on the skills and the strengths of both." And so he said, "What I need to be aware of, though, is that I'm feeding them and I'm managing them so that they both can bring whatever it is they bring to the table." And I was thinking about this, and it was really interesting because as we had this focus group the other day, to have that brought up. And I started thinking, what are the things in my life that I might just consider as maybe a negative attitude, where like the fear, for example, that fight or flight mode jumps in, where actually sometimes that can save my life, or that can save me from doing something dangerous, or it becomes an awareness that I need sometimes. And I was really thinking about this last week, where we are given a series and a wide array of emotions so that it can help us control our life situations on a variety of survival skills. What is your take and input on that?
Well, some of those emotions are important. For example, grief we look at that as kind of a negative emotion. We had an experience lately in our family where someone passed, and the whole family was just in a state of grief for a period of time. Some of those emotions are necessary, and we have to process through them. Grief is a process that you have to go through, but it has to end. It has to run its course, but you need to be able to control even that. Anger is one that there are times when it's okay to be angry, but not very often. Some people become angry over everything, over little things. For some people, everything is a big mountain that needs to be challenged. And one of the ways that we control that in our home is the 1 to 10. Some things are a 10 for some people, and I don't even think about them. So it would be maybe a 1 for me. And so
I'm not coming to you for my problems. If you're a 1 and I'm a 10, you're the wrong person.
well, we have learned to communicate that way, where if something is bothering someone, they'll come to me and they'll say, "This is going on 1 to 10, where are you in this?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say, "Well, it's a 1 for me. It doesn't bother me at all." And so the other person then is free to take care of the problem in their own way, and it's not going to bother me one way or the other.
Oh, I love that.
Where if they come to me and I'll say, "Well, that's a 10 for me," then they'll say, "Well, let's discuss what has to happen there," and then I'm involved in it, and I can share my feelings and what's going on. And so there are some things that bother some people and they don't bother other people. And so if you have a problem, you don't need to make it everybody's problem. A lot of people make things a big issue, and it's not an issue to other people at all. So yeah, it's just communication and sharing and having a system that works for everybody.